Touchdown Cleveland, we are back. And what you just heard was our next guest, the great band from the City of Kings, Parma, Ohio, at least mostly, right?
That's right.
Burning Harlots. What's up, guys?
What's
Woo!
happening?
I'm going to do the intro starting from, what would it be, from the right. Jason Scott, what are you going with? Is this...
Yeah, that's just my first and middle name.
Okay, all right. I didn't know. Yeah, he's not trying. He's not avoiding any, indictments across country or nothing.
Today, this is my legal name.
He's he's the vocalist and keyboards, right?
Yes.
Dan, sitting next to him, is the drummer. Tim, guitarist. Brian, the bass player. And Andy, the new guy, the guitarist, right?
What's happening?
So, you guys, it's great to have you guys in here, and I know you guys pretty well. We've done some stuff like early on with you guys at the Jigsaw and stuff, and you guys, I mean, I've known you, Jace, in 2nd grade. Andy, I think I've known you since I was in like 4th or 5th grade.
Something like that.
And the rest of you guys I've even known for a while. This episode of Tim, who I just got to know very recently, but lucky you. Brian, we go back. Dan, we go back to junior high and stuff. So
they've been properly vetted, is what he's trying to say.
Exactly. They have their credentials. And so what's going on, guys? What are you guys up to right now? Recording, playing? What's up?
Just rehearsing for our gig coming up on the 26th with the Dead Enders, who are in studio. Black Marsh, who I'm very excited to hear, and Orange County Suite.
And where's that at?
That is at the Fantasy.
Okay. This be a great show. What night again? I can't remember anything.
Friday, October 26th.
Friday, October 26th. The Burning Harlots and the Dead Enders. How'd you pull that off? I mean, they're a big... Holly doesn't even like showing up in, like, clubs anymore.
Like Carrie Fisher and Darth Vader, we need all the work we can.
Don't think anything.
She just gets fatter at the moment, doesn't she? Yeah. Holy shit, it's no more being in front of Jabba. She has lost that look.
So, I want to ask you guys real quick, how much trouble has Brian gotten you guys in over the years of playing with him? How many times you guys were like, we don't know him? Because like I said, Brian, one of my earliest memories of you was in junior high. We're sitting at the table, and it was like lunchtime or a study hall or something, and the principal was walking around, and you weren't even in our study hall. You were just hanging out or whatever, and you're under the desk just going, fuck you, to the principal while he's talking. He's looking around for someone.
You know, a lot of it, Nick, had to do with I fucking hated school. I think that goes for a lot of people. Right. You know, I got my Jed and I fucking fled. And I gotta tell you, man, they were interrupting my fucking Skid Row moment.
So yeah, no, Jay, we used to get into trouble too. We used to chase the white things around.
We did.
And bite our own faces. That was, I don't know what the hell, like, it's really easy to find the other weirdos. It's like, hey dude, you ever do the thing where you bite your face? Yeah. Like, oh yeah.
I don't know how we did it, but we did it.
It's bonding. It's the kind of bonding that we have in Parma. We chase after the little white things floating in the air and try to bite our own face.
Before they were eating other people's faces.
Now, when you were biting your face, did you have that beard?
Negative.
No, you would have been too easy. You know, that's right out of that thing. Right, the beard didn't come to like 6th grade, 7th grade. Yeah. But so the bands, how did it come together? Obviously, was it something like this started with you and Tim J? Did you like want to be in a band as brother, or how did like the genesis of this, or is that just something that happened?
A long time ago. Tim actually bought me my first guitar back in like '93, '94. And this project band,
it's pretty funny because
he got sick of like the strings being broken every time he went to use it.
It's pretty funny because it's Aaron Dowell's guitar.
We'll keep that. So you'll be down here in a second. All right.
Right.
Every guitar in Parma has once gone through
Aaron. Aaron has raped it at some point.
He is the gatekeeper of all guitars in this city. All quality guitars, because Aaron doesn't play shit. That's
the It actually started out, I was always doing a lot of music by myself with the keyboards, drum machine, this and that. Then Tim bought my younger brother a guitar, and he goes, hey, why don't you go check out Will and see how he's doing, you know? So I go over there and I check him out, and the dude's just like, you know, Jimmy Page, after playing for like a month, just a natural, something I've been trying to do for 20 years.
Right, like you
know
fucker.
I mean? It's like you fucking
hate those bastards.
So I was like, all right, why don't me and Will start jamming? So we started jamming with the drum machine, and we started writing a few songs, and I got back into contact with Brian, and Brian came by, and he was like, you motherfucker, you got a band? You know?
You're like, hey guys, man, how you doing?
Right. He's like, I'm leaving an alliance, but I'm going to get in this band, and I'm moving back to fucking Parma, and that's it, you know? So that basically...
He proclaims a lot, doesn't he?
So I couldn't help it, man.
He's like,
it was that good.
I play guitar, but maybe I'm gonna play bass in this band. So all we had was my other guitar. He tuned it down. He heard what we had, and Brian's like, "That's it." Next day, Brian had a bass. So. And
that's gotta be a big step for you, bro, because you are. I mean, and I do know you. Obviously, your brother being a very metal, and your whole family, like you are definitely into metal and shredding, and you're a good guitarist. But to I like this band enough, I'm gonna switch over and do something else. Was it just hearing the music right away, or?
Well, I gotta be quite honest with you, man. Nick, I'd been on hiatus for a long time, always singing, my family.
Right.
I mean, it's nothing to be told, but I had seen on MySpace, as old as it fucking is, Jay's band, it was honestly just Jay and Will, and they were doing a band called Moscow Burning, believe it or not, and they were shredding. And Jay has always been a fucking great songwriter. And me and Jay, through the years of growing up together and stuff like that, Jay's always been writing songs. It was good stuff. And I text a couple, or put it on the page a couple times, that's great, keep it going. And believe it or not, my youngest brother, Jay, had said, you're just in town, man, you got to stop by Ellis's house. And I'm like, no, man, I haven't seen him in fucking 15 years, man.
Right.
Just chill out. So he parks me over there, and in 5 minutes, we're talking about music. And then the rest is, I swear to God.
And that's how it happens, man.
Yeah, the rest is fucking history. I mean, Will on guitar, Jay on the vocals, Homemade Recipe was the first song we ever...
How'd you get Dan to stop working for a couple hours in the day?
We emailed Dan way at the beginning, trying to get Dan to join the band, but he was too busy working.
I will say this, that me and Jay and Will, we had got together and we had did a little bit of collaboration. And the first person we emailed, like Jay was saying, was actually Dan, and we had said, hey, we wrote this way big email basically saying, I love you, man, and we want you to be a part of this band. And at the time, Dan was busy and he couldn't do it.
He looked at us like, click.
Yeah, whatever.
Well, it's what I want to say. Dan is he's pretty much like a master carpenter. At the Yorktown, when they had the fire damage, the new bar, the beautiful, Dan did most of that. So I mean, Dan, we're not just and Tim, right? That's at the bar. I mean, so we're ripping on these guys. These guys do really good work and do put in serious hours.
It's beautiful.
Jeff isn't the only one that works.
Right. Jeff is such a baby. He works the normal thing. I gotta take a nap after work. Like, listen, Jeff, you need to hurry up and get here when I need you to do this free show so that I can self-promote myself, okay? Screw you and your nap. Right? But, so
I'm
you guys
getting that nap if I can take that nap.
So you guys get together, and you have Will playing originally, which is your brother.
Right.
And Andy
at the time.
Andy, you weren't till later, I know, but we'll get a little bit of your history really quick. I know you've been in, ever since like high school, you were in the bands that were playing. Well, you were in Azrael first?
That was the first one.
And then I remember you more of the Revolution with Wall of Sound. It was the same guys, basically, though, according to everyone.
For most part. We just basically quit that band and just decided to start something a little bit heavier and call it something else.
Right.
We got a few other people, different people, but and then it went from there to Morality Check. But it's another Revolution.
Just evolve, right.
But
I change the name of my band every couple of years so clubs don't catch on. Like, no, that's not the Wolf band. That's not me.
I never did that.
I'm Brad.
Brad Wolf.
Yeah, Brad. There's a million different people with the last name Wolf booking gigs. They're not me.
Coming up next week, the Big Brad Wolf.
Right.
The Big Brad Wolf. That's great.
So I know when I first heard you guys were doing a band, I was like, Ellis is in a fucking band. Awesome. Because you've always been, I say this in the nicest possible way, a pretty fucking weird dude. And that's what we always related pretty well. And incidentally, I gotta say real quick, Tim and Jane, I wouldn't embarrass you guys too much, but I remember getting a ride home from you guys the other day. And your mom's giving you guys a ride home. Your mom, for what I remember, is like one of the coolest parents I ever remember meeting.
Yes,
Tim, you were like saying the most awful stuff about chicks, and Jane wanted to, and she was like, stop it! Like, we're laughing along, and I just couldn't believe, like, my parents would drown me for, like, not raising my hand for it. Like,
anybody knows my mom loves her.
It was
Yeah,
fucking
that's right.
sweet, man.
I love you, Carol.
It was one day. It was like, yeah, that's the. But it was almost like when you get around other kids, like, oh my god, this is awesome, shit.
I gotta be honest with you, Nick, man. The first time I ever met Jay, and I spent some time around his family. I mean, they're the most loving people, but yeah, super hippie, super great, and Jay's mom is fantastic. A really good support system as far as fucking music goes.
Fake about our house.
No, nothing.
It is what it is. There's no bullshit.
I mean,
it's.
Got Steve walking.
It isn't bullshit. It's like everyone's open. But I always knew you, Tim. I was scared of you as a kid. You were like one of those stoner older brother dudes.
Oh yeah, the stoner older brother.
I would get my ass kicked by him.
Yeah, listen, man. We have watched Timmy Joe recently stomp somebody's fucking head. So
right before we went on a show. Like 2 minutes before show.
Yeah. 2 minutes. Is that a warm up?
Yeah, warm up, man.
It was actually a warm up for Timmy Joe, and the whole time we were playing, everybody felt uncomfortable. Like someone was gonna come and shoot us.
I don't think you'd ever play a good show unless all members of the band feel uncomfortable at the same time.
Oh, by the way, that was not me.
Okay.
That was not me.
Oh man, the Timmy Joe stomp.
All facts given here on Tough Scene Cleveland are not admissible in any form of court. And it's all happenstance.
This is for entertainment purposes
only.
only.
Entertainment. But so I'm trying to remember another. I'm sorry, but yeah, get back to just like childhood stories and stuff. Jay, remember when we also used to have like Royal Rumbles and shit and kick the shit out of each other?
Oh my god, I remember that.
And like Jay, like there was a hierarchy. Like the bigger kids got like the cool wrestlers, like Ultimate Warrior.
I was the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah. I was the Texas fucking Tornado. That's where I was on the playground hierarchy. I did. I cut half of my foot off and shot tons of heroin before we went out just to do it right. Nowadays, I'm proud that I was Texas Tornado because I know more about the famed Von Erich family. But yeah, I don't know. That just came to me.
You were just picking up scraps back then.
Right. But so with the bands were the first gigs. Like, when does it all like come together? Was it because I met you guys pretty early on? Was it like the Jigsaw stuff?
That was our first actual gig at
Yeah, Nick, you were there for the first gig.
Right. Okay. And did we play that with you guys?
No.
I remember. Right. It was you guys in No Control, right?
It was us, Johnny Mohawk, and Chelsea Malone.
Okay. Yeah, that was...
how I remember
was it
that,
Chelsea
I don't know.
Malone?
Yeah.
Right.
No, it was something different Malone.
Especially at those Jigsaw shows. It was like a haze of just craziness. I don't remember too many of them. But I do like the sound. I like different, like kind of like that, sort of but kind of that Addicts kind of feel too. Like a lot of like a very haunting kind of feel. Right. And that's why I have you guys on here. I don't know if you guys try that on purpose. Like, do you find, is there a genre like more of a horror thing, or is that just kind of
we
an aesthetic?
Don't try to stick to one thing. I mean, what we write is what we write. I mean, we've got songs that just straight up rock and roll song, and then we'll have a song that's just like a real dark, heavy song. I mean, we don't try to classify ourselves or. It's just what happens is what happens. We got a song, Son of Sam. It's just basically a fast punk song. I mean, nothing like.
I remember that's one of your early ones too.
Right.
Yeah, I remember that from Rockin' Out, throwing that beer at people while you guys are playing that.
So
a lot of shit I write is dark sounding, and I think that's why I fit into the band so well.
Yeah. I'm gonna get
like dark shit,
and I do want to get to that. So you guys were on with Will for a while, and it's pretty much the same lineup minus Andy. What causes the change there? Is it because he was much younger? He's your guys' younger brother. Definitely a big age gap as far as that goes.
Right,
I would
lack
think.
of commitment. We were trying to move forward, record this. We're adults. We got jobs. We practice once a week. So if somebody misses 3 practices in a month, you're really not moving forward.
Right.
So it was just
hear that, Aaron Dowell.
I tell you what, Will was great at what he did. He was very masterful. Will was one of those people that you put in a situation, you say, listen, Will, this is the song that we wrote, and this is what we want you to put in it, and he'd be spun on. But to actually show up, never.
Right.
Yeah. Just a young kid, man.
He's probably got other things going on. Right. He's not married or nothing. He's got young chickies he's banging and shit. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and that's hard. It is. I try to get younger people. I know CJ and I've been there. Like, you find some kid and they're great, and they're like, "Oh, you could be awesome."
Right.
But you realize it just they're a different when you're in your 30s and you're in a band and stuff. Like you said, time is so limited that you have to be serious about what you're doing and the time that you get.
Right.
And you can't dick around. Right, CJ?
You know what's nice about being my age and having younger people in the band you have to fire? They have the energy to taunt you once you're fired. They have the ability to keep up the email
and Twitter.
Such enthusiasm. When you
He's got 3 drummers, 4 guitarists, and a harp player. Oh my god!
Use musician sale.
Hunting him down. It's like Frankenstein and the Villagers. It's bad news.
I'm down to a one-man band.
So you guys decided to change, and you guys obviously made a great choice. Why was Andy the guy?
Well, Andy was pretty much a neighborhood growing up kid, so it was a natural fit, man. And if it was anybody else, it would have just been uncomfortable.
Right.
So Andy was just.
Yeah, we had a past with Andy, and we knew Andy could shred, so
right.
I gave him a call, and
Andy used to eat
down.
Jay's Pop-Tarts when you
yeah.
delivered the paper.
I go there. As long as Carol kept bringing me the food, I just kept eating.
Oh, that's not a euphemism for something?
Well, no.
Okay.
I hope not.
Eating the Pop-Tart. That is Jeremy Shear's website, actually.
Yeah, eatingthepoptart.com.
Every time I ran away from home, I always ended up at their house.
Believe it or not, we had that hiatus with Will, and one person in our band became very frustrated. There's one person that
Jay.
No, it wasn't actually Jay. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. It was actually Tim and Dan that had gotten very frustrated. Me and Jay had
We've
tried.
been through it.
Yeah, we had been through it for a couple years of just doing things for Will and trying to get him acclimated and trying to just do anything we could to instill Harlot Will within him, as far as
Harlot Will across the land.
You know, just trying to tell him, you know, hey man, I'm here for you. Let's go to the music store, buy him some strings and stuff like that. Well, Tim is his brother, man. He tried that, and we had a. Dan actually spoke up one day and he said, you know what the fuck's going on, man? You know, it's either going to be, you know, Will's either going to fucking show up or he's not.
See, I get a feeling when Dan does speak, the mountains move. Well, you know, when he has, because he doesn't say shit unless he has something to say, in my opinion. It's like all the lights, he opens his mouth and all the lights bust out and the electricity goes on and off.
You might want to get your camera on here.
Yeah, surge protectors.
Yeah, right. So, Nick, the last thing you want to hear in a band is that your bomb-ass drummer's having a fucking problem.
And Dan, was the same thing with you? Like,
band.
I'm taking time out of my schedule. It's...
Yeah, just not seeing the commitment, you know.
Right. And no, you have to, because you're not going to...
You know, that they've dealt with this in the past so many times.
So just kind of pragmatic about like, yeah, dude, we can't do this anymore. And that's how we've been. We had a drummer, Dave Ryan, who you guys know. I love the guy, but it was just at the point where you just, months and years and years, you let them go on. You're just like, no, we just can't anymore for the band to move on, and it sucks. But, you know, if you're not playing shows and you're not practicing, then you're not a fucking band, so what's the point?
Exactly.
So Andy came on. Did you guys have a lot of songs written? You had stuff recorded before then. Did you guys have to switch up a lot of stuff, or?
Dude, it is our Achilles heel. Recording, we record something.
Well, you got to go to the right people. Sometimes you go to a cheap, you know, alternative.
We actually did record with Jeff.
Def Studios.
Jeff was great, by the way. Jeff was fantastic.
He is. We
went to a studio, and Jay will extrapolate on this. We went to a very, very well-known person, and it is our Achilles heel, Jay, and I'll let you take it from here.
I'm going to interrupt you, reiterate, you say, no, take it.
No sooner than it gets done, somebody quits something.
Our original drummer was Mike Phillips, and the way he left the band was quite different than the way Will left the band, or we had to push Will out, basically. Mike was, it was cool, you know, then after a while, everything just started hitting the head. Anything... Brian would be like, hey man, I got an idea for this part in this song. Why don't you do like a 4-measure like solo drum solo or something? This dude would just get yo, motherfucker, I don't tell you how to play your
Right,
instrument.
right.
It's like, dude, we're structuring a song, man. You know, we're not telling you how to fucking
Getting
hit your
all,
drums,
yeah,
you know?
personal right away.
Right.
So CJ does in all his bands.
It was actually Tim's second practice with us after he joined the band because we recorded at Advanced Audio Design with Mike Zaremba, and Will laid over so many overlays. We're like, we can't release this and play a show without a rhythm guitar player now.
The guy actually told us, not to interrupt Jay, but that we need to thicken our sound. If we're gonna present ourselves that way, we need to have a rhythm guitarist.
Right.
And Jay and I at the point where we were like, "Fuck, who's gonna fill them shoes?" So we went round and round and round, and Jay had called me one day and said, "I got the perfect person."
Right, Tim.
Right.
So Tim thought about it a week or so.
Took me like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I do a lot of shit, dude.
And you're still considering out of
I
this
haven't played my guitar in like 15 years.
Right.
You know, I'm
and
like
now we're calling upon this. We're calling upon Tim to thicken the sound, and he had thought about it, and obviously he had decided to.
So you guys are kind of re-recording everything now, then, kind of. Did a lot of the songs survive, or was it like this last period since Andy joined? Has it been like?
We still have the same archive of songs, but since Andy joined, we have been writing new material, and we are more focused on recording the new material because, dude, those songs are stale to me.
Right, exactly. They're not fun playing that same,
right.
picking it up. You got to, but yeah.
Well, the thing about
I play them close to what they were, but I just put my own
little flourishes.
Yeah, I bought a 7-string guitar. I was like, I gotta fatten this stuff up, so that helped out a lot.
Right.
And some of the stuff, it actually did thicken it up just by having that.
Right.
And with him, it opens him up to do a lot of stuff too that he might not have been doing either.
Right. That's yeah.
It's still pretty much the same song.
Yeah, the songs are there. I mean,
so any date on an album, or like, is there something you're working for?
We actually have a 2-song demo being printed right now.
Okay.
The song that you just heard, Fathom, and then True Gold, which is up on our Reverb Nation page.
So you're gonna have those up on the computer and also to hand out at like shows and stuff. What's the itinerary? Obviously, what is it? The 29th at the Fantasy?
26.
26 at the Fantasy. I'm juggling dates, you know. God forbid I be too well prepared for what I'm doing. With the Dead Enders, what else? What's the plan now here for the next couple months with the Burn Harlots?
We got another show with the Dead Enders. I believe the day before the Thanksgiving.
You'll never get out of that shit. You are sucked in now. You're going to be playing, and then CJ's going to be leading you guys around. Next thing you know, I'll be recording with Dave Parrish, and then you'll be really fun.
You'll be sick of us in a few weeks.
That's the push we need because this is the first show we played since last October.
Right.
So it's like we'll get in a mode where it's like, okay, we're going to record, then somebody quits. And then you got to backtrack another 6 months, find somebody, hopefully they fit, you know. Then
it's the grind, man.
Get a bond together.
Yep.
Start recording again, and once on a one practice a week schedule, trying to record and stay in rhythm with the songs. I mean, it's tough.
Right.
You know? I mean,
I'd have to say, Nick, find someone to fit is one thing. And then finding someone to fit and then add their own things in.
Right.
And,
Right, to not just show up and, yeah.
Right. Like, Andy came down. Jay had mentioned Andy. You take cigarette breaks in between practice. We practice from 6 to 9. It's totally intense between 6 to 9. And we have our practice, we have our breaks in between. And Jay had looked over to me and he goes, why don't you fucking get in contact with Andy Hamilton? I go, well, all right, man. Well, fucking. I was like, you know what, Jay? Why don't you give him a call?
So now you guys are cruising. The sound's changing a little bit, but it's still really it's not too far from what you were doing.
I
mean, it's got a little heavier of a tone. I could say that, but it's definitely for the better.
Right.
I think it's what we needed. Andy brings a drive to the band, and he's definitely got creative aspects with them too. It's not just like, okay, the core band, Brian and I,
what was it,
right, doing everything, and then they just show up.
Practice,
right.
Andy showed up with a lead or a solo.
Yeah,
it's
the
never
first
even
guy.
played.
He's like,
he's going all out.
I wrote this in my head. I'm gonna fucking.
Yeah, I was like, man, that's an A for effort, man. Man.
Dude,
well,
I worked on a lead, man. You got to see this. Close it out so I could see it.
I was like, don't ask me to play it yet because I haven't tried yet.
So they're getting it together. October 26th, they got the big show at the Dead Enders. Check out, is it burningharlots.com or Facebook or
.webs.com.
And you'll have the songs up soon, and check out the new recordings from with Andy now in the band,
Right, those
the
are
Burning
new
Harlots.
songs out.
Cool. Well, guys, we gotta get moving on other stuff, but stick around. We're gonna have Carlo in if you guys got any ghost stories or any haunting questions or anything like that. We'll get going, and we'll just. We're going to keep going here, but we're going to take a break for a minute. We're going to get Frank Martinez on really quick to talk about Maple Heights, and then Carlo from Orbs, tough scene Cleveland, Burning Harlots,